Hello and welcome to another Looney Tunes review video. If you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe to follow my journey to review all 1000 classic Looney Tunes shorts and give this video a like as well. So this is a review for Porky's Pooch, released in 1941. It's the 351st in the series and it's directed by Bob Clampett. You can find this on the Looney Tunes Gone Collection Volume 5 DVD set, on the Porky Peak 101 DVD set. A HD version is out there, but it's not on physical media yet. But hey, it's in the public domain, so at the end of this review, I'll have the full short in HD ready for you. So just for consistency's sake, in case you haven't seen this one, we see a dog who explains to another dog, a Scottish Terrier. I can't do this Scottish accent. But anyway, about how he's living the high life in this luxury car, and he then tells a story about how he goes into this luxury building, sees Porky, and convinces Porky to be his new master. It sounds kind of familiar, doesn't it? And we'll go through why. So first up, you're going to see a re-edit of the original audio commentary I did, which the whole thing is still up on the channel, but I'm putting it here for consistency's sake for this review. You'll hear some new thoughts from me, a snippet from the Bob Clampett retrospective video, and you'll see the cartoon as well. So grab some popcorn and enjoy. And with me today are my fellow Pooches, Lou Genocide, Austin Kelly, and Fox and Fix. Say woof, guys.
Woof.
I had to do something different for this one. But I'll point out a few things briefly. You'll notice this cartoon, it's all photos in the background. There might be one or two shots here and there that maybe aren't, but I can't really tell. I mean, if you know of a few shots, definitely let me know. But as far as I know, this is Clampett just doing photos for the backgrounds, which he kind of explored in like a Koi Decoy in the beginning and a few other places, but here he goes all out with that idea. It's the last Clampett with his old unit. Norm McCabe will take over this unit, and a few other bits and pieces, I suppose. So, yeah, you guys like this cartoon?
I think it's great, and there are a lot of daring and very cinematic type shots in it, and I think Clampett was really giving his all with this one for some reason. I find myself enjoying it a lot, actually.
I also want to point out one interesting thing about this one. Up until this point, Clampett would just have Porky maybe in the start and the end, but then have all these other characters, so it'd be like a framing thing. And yet here, Porky's actually featured not in the framing device, but featured in the main part.
I'm not familiar with this one as much as you guys seem to be. This was not one that ever played. I did watch it before this commentary, and all I could think of was the fact that this was basically the same premise as the Charlie Dog cartoon.
Exactly the same jokes, and to think that Chuck and Clampett had this rivalry going, but then Chuck exactly copied this cartoon, basically.
And here we have Donald Duck logic, Donald Duck towel logic, rather, where, you know, a character that doesn't normally wear pants for some reason wants to wear a towel, like, for modesty after a shower or something, which is really bizarre. I did notice that this Park Avenue address that Porky is at, if you notice on the photo, it's actually the front of, or at least one of the doors anyway, it says Termite Terrace, which would have been a funny little in-joke. That's Park Avenue for these animators.
But I cannot believe that I never noticed before that these are pictures in the background. I haven't seen this one too often, but you just mentioned it and I had no idea. But it's a great way to do backgrounds. Do they do this more often?
But it's definitely an interesting thing, and you can see the photos even more clear in this high definition version. Doing backgrounds like this is probably more trouble than what it's worth. Because you got to plan out what photos you need for all the shots and actually go out and get them. Whereas, you know, with backgrounds, you just tell your background artist, hey, I need these backgrounds for these shots. But in this case, you have to actually get a photo done.
This is a Cal Dalton scene, which is weird, because obviously Cal Dalton on a Clampett cartoon is not something you would expect. But he worked on the majority of the McCabe shorts, and seeing as how McCabe was about to take over this unit, I can just assume that Dalton joined the unit late into Clampett's time heading it, and then when Clampett leaves, McCabe's in, and, you know, he works on the rest of those McCabe cartoons. And I think this is Izzy Ellis right here.
If I'm guessing, this cartoon probably took a lot longer to make, and I think part of it might be to do with the backgrounds. But and speaking of backgrounds and animation, if you look at the window scene very shortly, you'll notice that there's a bit of an animation mistake. You'll see it where you see sort of half of the dog's body. It is coming up very, very shortly.
So,
see, there it is. See on the bottom.
It's kind of wonky.
But yeah, look, it's not a big deal or anything, you know. I just thought I'd point it out. It's a funny, still a great short. I think it's one of Bob Clampett's best in his old units, and one of his best overall. I think I quite enjoyed this one.
I can't get over the fact that this is basically Charlie Dog.
it's kind of funny that, Jones kind of hated Clampett, and he was just so willing to steal one of his ideas and then make it into, like, one of his most famous characters. Because obviously Charlie Dog is great. And he is
saying that I think this ending is a little sweeter than what would happen in Little Orphan Airedale.
Boy, was that a good discussion. I really did enjoy doing those. It's kind of crazy when you have a lot of people in, but for whatever reason, it definitely worked. So, as mentioned in the commentary, if not, the whole short consisted of photographs as backgrounds, and you'll see that they overlay sometimes signs like the Termite Terrace sign, that sort of thing. Now, I was thinking about this one, and given that Clampett at times would fall behind schedule, he would focus a lot on some of the more elaborate shorts like Coal Black, or in the 30s, Lone Stranger and Porky is probably a good one. He would then make some quickie shorts to catch up, and you have to wonder if Clampett would have stuck with this technique had he not taken over Tex Avery's unit, as it would require a lot of planning. You got to figure out what photos you needed for which shots, plus the photos would have to be developed first to see if they were usable or not. So unlike today where you can see a preview of what the shot is on a screen, back then, you take a photo, you'd have to develop it first to see if it was any good. It seems like, in theory, it should have been a quicker technique, but it seems to me like it was worse in practice. But still, I'm glad he did at least once, and we can see the result here. But I doubt that Clampett would have continued this technique, except for maybe a few special shots here and there, had he stayed with this original unit and not taken over Tex Avery's unit. Because, hey, as mentioned in the track, this is the last short he does with the original unit, and this unit is taken over by Norm McCabe, who already released the short beforehand. So again, this tells me this short came out after Norm McCabe's first one, so maybe they fell behind because of all the photographs that were used for this short. So, I don't know. It's probably information lost to time, but hey, we can really speculate. But let's go through the short, because I've got a few new things to say compared to the original track. So, first up, I have no idea who Nick Dapolopoulos is referring to, and it seems to me that there must have been some sort of a grill house or some sort of restaurant that Clampett was parodying here, and of course I'm not from the US, so I have no idea about this. So if you do know, let me know in the comments, because I really would like to know. But what I do know is that this dog is definitely hungry. You can see the hotcakes in the dog's eyes. Sure, the scene may go on that touch too long in terms of timing, but whatever, still pretty funny. Just like the wonderful accent on this dog too, the whole rolling R's, which I can't do. My good friend Manny Cruz, the 2D tenor, which if you aren't following, definitely give him a follow. He does the music stuff for my channel on some of the reviews. He can roll his R's and I'm very jealous, I will say. So we see the dog saying, how is every little thing at the end when he's saying hi to this dog. That is a reference to the line, how is every little thing, Mert? And that's from the radio show Fibber McGee and Molly. Now, I have to say, it's pretty interesting that this shows off just how rich Porky is. This comes across as portraying Porky as, I guess, a successful movie star, that he's got all this money. He's living on the top floor of a rather posh apartment block. He's got a really nice-looking car that the dog's in the beginning, so I thought that was a nice little touch there. And that's how I'm viewing this short from now on, that he's just this rich movie star now, and this is sort of happening in quote-unquote real life for him. Maybe that's why there's the photos. See, it's very meta, isn't it? That all those scenes with Rover, this dog, trying to convince Porky to be his master, if I can do the accent correctly, these will obviously be repurposed for the Charlie Dog shorts later on, and it's amazing to see that Rover is pretty much Charlie Dog, just in a different skin. The voice is just about there. He'll be perhaps tweaked that little bit as Mel Blanc's, of course, a few years older once the Charlie Dog shorts come out, but It's just incredible how similar that it actually is. And my good friend Fox in the Fix, in the excerpt I'm going to put for you very shortly, he'll make a few interesting points about that. And of course, there's some really funny bits of animation. I do like that little bit where Rover just does that little thing to Porky's nose, just cause. It's really weird. It's like, be my master, and yet he still torments Porky for some reason. But anyway, I think that's pretty funny. Now, we see a Carmen Miranda impersonation. Sounds like they just took the record for Carmen Miranda. I'm not sure who actually did the voice there. There's nothing in Keith Scott's Cartoon Voices book, so I'm assuming that they just took a record and they just played it, and that's pretty much it. He does say, guess who? And I'm wondering if that is a Jerry Colonna reference, the whole, where's your hoodie? I think it is. I'm just speculating there, but let me know in the comments below if you think that's the case. And as I mentioned before, with the way Rover talks in this, I like how he has his mispronunciations, and that's something that Charlie Dog will have later on, where the best one is how he says refugee is refuge. It's pretty funny. Yeah, the Porky's having a look, and he's like, did you lose something, bud? Just, I gotta say, this Charlie Dog prototype character is still pretty funny. But we then see a window, and we see that Rover's mouthing off something. I do wonder what was intended to be said there. I would laugh, though, if the animator was just making him say swear words that obviously wouldn't be actually said in the short, and it's just mouthing off stuff. Wouldn't surprise me at all if that was the case, but who knows. And lastly, we hear the saying, I'm a bad boy, and that's a reference to Lou Costello, as that's one of his lines. So, here will be just a brief excerpt from the Bob Clampett Retrospective Part 1, where my good friend Fox in the Fix explains something that I didn't actually realize. So, take it away, Fox.
Yeah, like you said, the background is made up of photographs, but I only noticed it when I saw it for like the 5th time, because I must have been too focused on the animation before to notice it, so kind of stupid of me, again. But the weirdest thing is how the same exact plot and jokes were copied by Chuck Jones years later for the Charlie Dog cartoons. It's weird because Jones had a habit of blaming Clampett for taking credit for ideas that weren't his. Apparently, Jones disliked Clampett after Chuck didn't receive the screen credits he thought he deserved on the collaborative shorts. So it's strange to see him just copying this Clampett cartoon after Clampett had just left the studio, actually. So what is also strange is that Warren Foster is credited for the story of this one, and I expected him to also be the storyman for Chuck's first Charlie Dog cartoon, Little Orphan Airedale. But no, they are Ted Pierce and Michael Maltese. It really makes a man confused.
It's
Yeah,
all confusing.
when you're a rival with someone, you kind of make a hypocrite out of yourself. I should know, but you know what I mean.
So this one is one of my favorite Clampett shorts of the black and white era. I think it's absolutely hilarious. Yes, Chuck would take the ball with this and run with it and do his own thing, which I love the Charlie Dog shorts, I absolutely do, but this one is its own thing and I think it's fantastic. The backgrounds being photographs is rather novel, and it works really well here actually, especially in the context of that whole silly meta story I just came up with moments ago. But it's also really funny as well, just the character of this Rover dog and how annoying Porky is, and that's sort of shades of what McKimson will do later on, where Daffy's this obnoxious character and Porky's the straight man, so it's like that here, which I've always loved. Yeah, the gags are really funny, and yeah, I think this one's a really good one. This one gets an 8.5 out of 10. I really love this one. It's one of my favorites. It really is. Is it better than the Charlie Dog shorts? That's up for debate, but taken on its own, I think it's really good. But you be the judge. You can watch the cartoon right now. But thank you for watching the review now. Enjoy the cartoon. Take care.
oh boy. What's a good ride? What's jumping? How's every little team? Not very good, laddie. I'm in a streak of hard luck. Say, Hoot man, what are you doing in that grand car? I belong in it. I got myself a master now, see? 3 square meals a day. No more bumming around the streets for me. All I gotta do is wag my tail and make out I'm glad to see him when he comes home. Then it's nice doggy this and nice doggy that. That's a cinch. That sounds very good. But how did you manage to put it over in the first place? Well, one day I determined to get me a master. So I goes to a ritzy district, way over on Park Avenue, where all of them swell penthouses is, through the fancy entrance, up to the top floor of a classy apartment house, and I rings at one of the doors.
Oh, shucks. Who in the wicked world can that be? Every time I get in the tub, that darn bell rings. It never fails.
Hello, bub. Hey, I got a preposition for you. Look, you ain't got no dog, and I ain't got no master. What do you say we gets together? You know, let's merge. Here, try me for size. And I'm affectionate, too. Where we going? Bye-bye?
I'm sorry, but I don't want a dog. Well, that's that.
I know all the tricks, too. You know, sit up, roll over, even play dead. Hey, watch me make like rigor mortis. And I'm very affectionate, too. Guess who?
Hold me close. Caballero. Mi caballero, adios.
Hey, I can take a hint. You don't want me. Now, don't deny it. You don't want me. Nobody wants me. I'm a dog without a country. That's what. I'm a refugee. What good is life without love? Love without you. That does it. This is the end. Goodbye, cruel world. Spatter. Did you lose something, bud? Hey, Fatso, look! Oh! Help!
Look out! Don't jump! Hey, don't do it! Come back, doggy! Watch out! Come on, doggy! Come back! Puppy, oh puppy, speak to me. Good old doggy, nice puppy. Oh, you poor thing.
Gosh, I didn't know you cared.
I'm a bad boy. That's all, folks.